Imagine a world where every sunrise belongs to you, where while others are still asleep, you've already begun building the life they dream about. There's a simple habit, a single choice that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. That habit, waking up at 4 a.m. It's not just a time, it's a statement. It's a declaration that your life, your dreams, and your potential are worth more than comfort, excuses, and delay. The early hours of the morning are more than just a time on a clock. They are a sacred window of opportunity. Waking up at 4 a.m. is not merely an act of getting out of bed. It is a statement of intent. It signals to the universe, to those around you, and most importantly to yourself, that you refuse to be ordinary. While the world sleeps, dreaming passively about their goals, you are awake, actively shaping yours. These hours are quiet, uninterrupted, pure, a blank canvas on which you can paint the life you want. In the stillness of the morning, your mind is sharp, your thoughts are clear, and your energy is unclaimed by the chaos of the day. This is where the foundation of greatness is built. During these early hours, distractions are almost non-existent. Social media notifications, emails, phone calls, and the noise of everyday life have yet to invade your space. This silence is not emptiness. It is power. Power to focus entirely on your priorities without interruption. Imagine an hour, 2 hours, or even 3 hours where your attention belongs solely to your dreams, your plans, and your self-improvement. This kind of undisturbed focus is rare, yet it is one of the most potent tools for anyone striving to rise above mediocrity. What most people squander in scrolling and delays, you spend in deliberate action, and that alone creates an enormous advantage over the competition. Waking up at 4 a.m. also cultivates a mindset of ownership and control. When you choose to rise before the rest of the world, you are consciously taking command of your day. Most people wake up reactively. They hit the snooze button, rush through breakfast, and respond to life as it comes at them. You, however, are proactive. You dictate the pace and direction of your day from the very first hour. That control over your mornings translates into control over your outcomes. It teaches you discipline, self-respect, and the understanding that the smallest decisions, like when to rise, can have the most significant impact over time. Moreover, these early hours are a time for reflection and clarity. The world's distractions haven't clouded your mind yet, allowing you to think deeply about your goals, your values, and your purpose. Journaling, meditation, or simply sitting in silence gives you the space to connect with your inner vision. When you start your day grounded in clarity, you make better decisions, avoid unnecessary stress, and approach challenges with a calm, confident mindset. Most people operate on autopilot, reacting to whatever comes their way. But the early riser starts with intention, creating a mental framework that supports success before the day even begins. Another extraordinary advantage of waking up early is the psychological boost it provides. Accomplishing something meaningful before the sun rises instills a sense of victory, a quiet triumph that carries through every subsequent task. Even small wins in those hours, completing a workout, reading a chapter, or planning your day, build momentum. That momentum becomes a self-reinforcing cycle. The earlier you start, the more you accomplish, the more confident you feel, and the more productive your day becomes. The simple act of rising before everyone else can transform your energy, giving you an edge in every meeting, project, and interaction throughout the day. Finally, the early hours separate those who are willing to pay the price from those who are not. Success, growth, and achievement do not come to the comfortable, the passive, or the easily distracted. They come to the ones who show up when no one else does, to the ones who choose effort over ease, discipline over indulgence. The habit of waking up at 4 a.m. is a commitment to being exceptional. It is a daily reminder that your time is precious, your goals are non-negotiable, and your potential is limitless. Those quiet hours are not just a routine. They are a declaration, a promise to yourself that you will not settle, that you will rise early, work hard, and take control of the life that most people only dream about. Success is rarely about luck. It is about preparation, consistency, and the willingness to do what others will not. Waking up at 4 a.m. gives you a head start on the day, and with it, a head start on life. While most people are still caught in the haze of sleep, you've already claimed hours for yourself, hours where your energy is high, your mind is sharp, and your focus is undisturbed. This isn't just a small advantage, it is a game changer. Every day as you rise before the world, you are investing in the quiet accumulation of progress, little by little, step by step, that will compound into extraordinary results. Those early hours allow you to approach your goals with clarity and precision. Planning your day before the world demands attention from you is like mapping your victory before the battle even begins. Instead of reacting to emails, messages, and endless distractions, you set the agenda. You know what matters, and you attack it with purpose. The average person waits for life to happen. They react, they scramble, they catch up. You, however, are always one step ahead. That difference in timing may seem subtle, but it is the invisible force separating the exceptional from the average. A head start also amplifies your productivity in ways most people never experience. Research and real-life stories show that people who wake early tend to accomplish more in a single morning than many achieve all day. When you rise at 4 a.m., you have uninterrupted hours to complete tasks that require deep focus. Creative work, strategic planning, personal development, or intense exercise all become more effective in the quiet of the early morning. You are not rushing, not reacting. You are leading. That early momentum carries forward into every other task, making the rest of the day feel smoother, faster, and more controlled. The psychological impact of this head start cannot be overstated. Completing meaningful work while the rest of the world sleeps creates a profound sense of accomplishment and confidence. Even small victories in the morning build momentum that lasts hours, sometimes the entire day. You move through your schedule with purpose rather than fatigue, with energy rather than lethargy, with clarity rather than confusion. That mental edge is invisible to others, yet it manifests in every interaction, every decision, and every opportunity you seize. It is the subtle difference that separates high performers from everyone else. Another critical aspect of gaining a head start is the power of consistency. Waking up early is not just a one-time act. It is a ritual, a habit, a lifestyle. Day after day, you accumulate hours of intentional work, reflection, and growth. The 4 a.m. habit compounds like interest in a bank account. While others struggle to find the time, you've already built a structure that supports your ambitions. These consistent early mornings become the backbone of your progress, allowing you to achieve things that seem impossible to those who wait until the world tells them to act. Finally, a head start is about ownership of your destiny. By rising early, you declare that your goals are non-negotiable, that you will not let convenience, comfort, or fatigue dictate your future. You are taking advantage of time that others squander, and in doing so, you place yourself leagues ahead. Success is not a sudden event. It is a process of deliberate choices, disciplined routines, and daily victories. Waking up at 4 a.m. is one of the most powerful choices you can make. It is a silent investment in yourself, a way to show the world, and more importantly, yourself, that you are serious about being exceptional, that you are ready to lead your life rather than follow it. Discipline is often misunderstood. Many people see it as a restriction, a burden, a chain that binds them to rules they do not want to follow. But discipline is not confinement. It is liberation. Waking up at 4 a.m. is one of the purest forms of discipline because it requires you to act even when your body screams for comfort and your mind pleads for delay. That early commitment becomes a declaration that your goals, your dreams, and your potential are worth more than temporary comfort. The paradox is beautiful. By binding yourself to discipline, you unlock freedom, control, and power in every area of your life. Discipline in the early morning sets the tone for your entire day. When you rise before the world, you are taking the first win of the day, a win that strengthens your confidence and your willpower. That morning victory is a silent force that carries into every task, every decision, and every challenge. It tells your mind, I am capable, I am committed, I am in control. Without this discipline, the rest of your day becomes a series of compromises and reactions. With it, you move deliberately, make intentional choices, and refuse to be shaken by distractions or setbacks. Waking up at 4 a.m. also trains your mind to resist temptation and delay gratification. You learn to prioritize long-term growth over short-term pleasure. You discover that the most significant achievements are not handed to the lazy or the distracted. They are earned by those who are willing to push past fatigue, convenience, and comfort. The discipline to rise early teaches a deeper lesson that every choice matters, that effort compounds, and that the way you start your day profoundly affects the way you live your life. In essence, discipline becomes the currency of freedom. Freedom from mediocrity, freedom from regret, and freedom to achieve extraordinary results. Another remarkable effect of early morning discipline is mental resilience. When you commit to waking at 4 a.m., you are intentionally challenging your mind and body. You are proving to yourself that you can overcome discomfort, resistance, and excuses. That strength carries forward throughout the day. Challenges that would derail others, stressful conversations, unexpected problems, heavy workloads become manageable. Your mental toughness, forged in the still, quiet hours of the morning, becomes your shield and your advantage. You respond rather than react, lead rather than follow, and persist rather than quit. Discipline also creates clarity and structure. By owning your mornings, you establish a framework that organizes your day and your life. Instead of drifting through chaos, reacting to emails, notifications, and obligations, you lead yourself with purpose. You decide what matters most and act on it. That structure is liberating because it gives you control over your time, your energy, and your outcomes. You are no longer a passenger in your own life. You are the driver, steering your path toward your goals, fueled by the discipline you practice every morning. Finally, discipline in the early hours cultivates self-respect and personal integrity. Every time you resist the temptation to stay in bed and instead rise to act, you are making a statement about who you are and what you value. You are telling yourself that your commitments matter, your ambitions matter, and you are worthy of the effort it takes to pursue them. That inner strength, built hour by hour, day by day, becomes freedom. The freedom to live intentionally, to chase dreams without hesitation, and to move through life with confidence, purpose, and unwavering focus. Discipline is not the cage, it is the key. And the early morning is the lock you choose to open. The early hours of the morning are a sacred space reserved for growth, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Waking up at 4 a.m. is more than a habit, it is an investment in yourself. While the world sleeps, your mind is alert, your body is rested, and your energy is untapped. This is a time to nurture your skills, expand your knowledge, and strengthen your character. Growth does not happen by accident. It requires deliberate effort, consistency, and attention. Those quiet hours give you the freedom to focus fully on becoming the person you need to be to achieve the life you want. In these early hours, your mind is a fertile garden. What you feed it grows. When you read, study, meditate, or journal at 4 a.m., you are planting seeds of wisdom and resilience. While distractions abound throughout the day, the morning provides clarity and space for deep thinking. It is a time when insights are sharper, creativity flows more naturally, and solutions appear with ease. This sacred time allows you to nurture ideas that would otherwise be buried under the noise of life, giving you an unparalleled advantage over those who wait until the world's chaos begins to think and act. Personal growth also thrives in the discipline of routine. By consistently dedicating the early morning to self-improvement, you create habits that compound over time. 1 hour of learning, 1 hour of reflection, or 1 hour of goal setting each day might seem small, but over months and years, it transforms you. You become stronger, smarter, and more capable. You learn to master your mind, manage your emotions, and sharpen your focus. Growth is not instantaneous. It is the accumulation of intentional actions, and the early morning is the perfect canvas to create it. The 4 a.m. habit also nurtures emotional resilience. In the silence before the world awakens, you have time to confront your thoughts, fears, and insecurities without distraction. This self-reflection builds emotional intelligence, the ability to understand and regulate your emotions, to empathize with others, and to remain composed under pressure. Emotional growth is often overlooked in the pursuit of success, but it is just as important as skill or knowledge. By dedicating time to your inner life, you strengthen the foundation upon which all external achievements are built. Moreover, this sacred time is where vision meets action. Most people think about their dreams, but never create the space to act on them. Waking up early gives you that space. You can outline your goals, strategize your steps, and take meaningful action before anyone else even starts their day. This uninterrupted window allows for clarity in purpose and intentionality in action. By the time the world wakes, you are already moving forward, already building momentum, and already living closer to the person you aspire to be. Growth is no longer abstract. It becomes tangible. Finally, the early morning is a reminder that time is the most valuable asset you have. By dedicating these hours to growth, you signal to yourself that your life, your potential, and your ambitions matter. The sacred hours between 4 and 6 a.m. are not for distractions. They are for mastery, for expansion, for self-realization. Those who seize them understand that the journey to greatness is personal, deliberate, and earned. The world may sleep, but you are awake, cultivating a version of yourself that is unstoppable, unshakable, and destined for extraordinary results. Waking up at 4 a.m. doesn't just give you more hours, it gives you an edge. While most people are still drifting in sleep, you are sharpening your mind. You are thinking clearly, planning strategically, and preparing for challenges before anyone else has even opened their eyes. This mental advantage is subtle, but it is powerful. It is the difference between reacting to life and leading it. Those early hours cultivate a level of awareness and clarity that most people never experience, and that awareness becomes a weapon in your pursuit of success. The early morning allows your brain to operate without distraction. No emails, no notifications, no noise, just focus. This is when your mind is most alert, when creativity flows freely, and when solutions to complex problems appear with surprising clarity. By leveraging this time, you give yourself the ability to think critically and strategically while the rest of the world is still catching up. The mental edge you gain from these hours cannot be faked or bought. It is cultivated through consistency, discipline, and the willingness to rise before comfort tempts you back into sleep. Mental toughness also grows during these early hours. Waking at 4 a.m. requires you to push past your body's natural resistance, to ignore the comfort of rest, and to act with intentionality. Every morning you rise early, you prove to yourself that you can overcome inertia and excuses. That confidence, forged in the quiet struggle of the pre-dawn hours, translates into every aspect of your life. Difficult conversations, high-pressure decisions, and unforeseen challenges are met with calm, clarity, and decisiveness because your mind is already trained for resilience before the world even stirs. This mental edge extends into problem solving and creativity. When your mind is free from distractions, it begins to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You start your day with a clear perspective, a focused strategy, and a readiness to act. This early advantage is cumulative. The more consistently you rise at 4 a.m., the sharper your mind becomes, and the more naturally you see solutions, anticipate challenges, and seize opportunities. The world may still be asleep, but you are awake and already 3 steps ahead in your thinking. Another dimension of this edge is self-discipline in thought. When you wake early, you gain the power to direct your mental energy intentionally. Instead of reacting to impulses, worries, or distractions, you choose what to focus on. You set priorities, cultivate positive habits, and strengthen your mindset. This practice of deliberate mental focus, repeated day after day, creates a cognitive advantage over those who let their thoughts wander, let their minds be hijacked by distractions, or wait for external events to dictate their actions. It is in these hours that champions train their minds to lead rather than follow. Finally, the mental edge over the crowd is about positioning yourself for opportunity. Life rewards those who are prepared, proactive, and mentally ready to act when chances arise. By rising early, you build a mind that is alert, agile, and disciplined, ready to see what others miss and to capitalize on what others overlook. This is how the 1% separate themselves from the 99%, not by luck, not by talent alone, but by consistently showing up, thinking ahead, and sharpening their minds when the rest of the world is still asleep. That mental edge becomes your secret weapon, a tool for success, resilience, and extraordinary achievement. Momentum is the invisible force that turns small actions into massive results. Waking up at 4 a.m. gives you the first spark of that momentum, and once it ignites, it carries you through every challenge, task, and decision for the rest of the day. Starting your day with purpose creates a rhythm, a flow, a sense of unstoppable energy that others simply cannot match. When you move first, act early, and accomplish meaningful tasks while the world sleeps, you set the tone for the day, your tone, your energy, your pace. Momentum is not accidental, it is intentional, and the early hours are the ignition switch. The beauty of early morning momentum is that it compounds. Completing one focused, high-value task at 4 a.m. builds confidence and sets up a chain reaction of productivity. That small win breeds another, which breeds another. By the time the world awakens, you are already operating at full power, already ahead in your goals, and already in the driver's seat of your life. Most people spend their day trying to catch up, but your momentum ensures that you are always several steps ahead. Momentum is not just action. It is mastery over time, energy, and focus. Momentum also enhances creativity and problem solving. When your day begins with meaningful activity, your mind is primed for innovation. Ideas flow more freely, solutions become clearer, and opportunities become visible where others see obstacles. This early surge of productivity and clarity allows you to approach every situation with confidence and composure. You are not scrambling, you are leading. You are not reacting, you are creating. Momentum turns ordinary mornings into extraordinary days and ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. Another critical aspect of momentum is its psychological impact. Early accomplishments generate a sense of pride, achievement, and self-belief that permeates every decision you make. When you rise at 4 a.m. and complete something significant before anyone else even stirs, you are telling yourself, I am capable, I am committed, I am relentless. That mental state is powerful. It influences your interactions, your problem solving, and your persistence. The day becomes a stage where you perform at your best because you've already won the first battle, your morning. Momentum also builds consistency and habit. When you commit to rising early and taking action, you create a pattern of excellence that repeats daily. Over time, this consistency transforms your life. Small victories accumulate into massive achievements. Discipline transforms into confidence, effort transforms into skill, and intentional action transforms into results. Momentum is not a burst of energy, it is a lifestyle. It is the daily habit of showing up, taking charge, and keeping your energy aligned with your goals. Finally, momentum is freedom in motion. When you start strong, the rest of the day feels lighter, more manageable, and more productive. Challenges that would overwhelm others become manageable tasks. Stress is tempered by clarity and confidence. Opportunities are seized rather than missed. Momentum turns effort into energy, chaos into order, and potential into reality. Waking up at 4 a.m. is more than a routine. It is the catalyst for a day that moves in your favor, that amplifies your abilities, and that separates the extraordinary from the average. Once momentum is created in the morning, it carries you forward, unstoppable, relentless, and destined for success. Every sunrise is an invitation, a choice. The 4 a.m. habit isn't just about waking up early. It's about waking up to your potential, to your purpose, and to the life you were meant to live. It's about claiming the hours that others sleep through, building momentum that lasts all day, sharpening your mind, strengthening your discipline, and investing in growth that compounds over time. This is how the 1% separate themselves from the 99%, not by luck, not by chance, but by showing up when it matters most, when no one else is watching, and doing what most will not. The power of early hours, the head start on success, the discipline that frees you, the sacred time for growth, the mental edge over the crowd, and the unstoppable momentum. They are not secrets. They are choices. And every choice you make today shapes the tomorrow you will live. The question is simple: will you rise before the world? Will you take control of your day? And will you commit to the habits that create greatness? Or will you let comfort, excuses, and delay decide your life for you? The clock is ticking. The world is waiting. But the opportunity is yours. Rise early. Own your hours. Feed your mind. Strengthen your spirit. And move forward with the unstoppable force of momentum behind you. Because the person you are becoming in these quiet, powerful hours will define everything you achieve for the rest of your life. The choice is yours. Wake up, step into your greatness, and never settle for anything less than extraordinary.